Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second Revolution Wrestling Federation Exciting Live Virtual Signing Experience. Today's guest, it's an absolute honor to host. He was the inaugural Royal Rumble winner. He was the king of the WWF and one of the biggest icons of the 80s and 90s in professional wrestling, Hacksaw Jim Duggan!
Well, thank you very much, folks. But you know the first thing old Hacksaw's got to do, and you all got to do it with me. Let's give a big ho, baby. Ho! It sounds like a library in here. Let's do a ho, fellas. Ho! I said everybody should start the morning off with a good ho.
Amen.
That gets a round of applause for sure.
So we're looking forward to signing. We got all kinds of pictures and autographs to sign. Look at this big thing you guys got.
We got posters.
That looks great, man. Beautiful. So what are we signing, fellas?
All right, well, first off, this is going out to a Blake, and he ordered the Royal Rumbler combo, which is all 4 of these photos.
From Blake?
From Blake,
Well,
yeah.
thanks, Blake. I appreciate all 4 photos,
All
man.
4,
Very nice.
He doesn't need it made out to him or anything like
Just
that.
just autographed?
Yep, just autographed.
Oh, cool. Blake, does Blake have any questions for me or anything, man? Is he
Let's see.
live there?
I'm live already.
We're monitoring it right now. We'll see if that's
Cool.
going. That's right. If anybody's watching, feel free to ask any questions. I've got things as well, but
Sure.
feel
And
free
you know,
to comment.
Blake, I try to give you a good autograph, too. You know, nowadays you see so many of the kids just make a design or a star or something. I try to write an autograph that you folks can read. Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Sister Mary Teresa would be very happy with my
You
penmanship.
get an A+. Now, if you're
Which
watching
other one?
online, real quick, just so you guys know, if you'd like to order, just go to signingliveinc.com or go to revolutionwrestlingfederation.com. We take PayPal, all major forms of credit cards. You just go right in there. The screen is all set up. All you got to do is click what you want, and we'll get the order.
And feel free to ask questions or comments or anything, folks. And one more here.
Yep, one more
I
though.
like this one with the flag and the board, you know. Nothing fancy, Dan, about Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Just a 2x4 and the flag of the United States of America. Give me a hoe, brother. Yeah, pretty good hoeing, I'll tell you.
That was, you said, yeah, you only had the 2x4 and the flag. To me, that was always one of the greatest things about you. Like, you didn't need the titles, you didn't need any of that kind
Of
of
course,
stuff.
you got to remember, when I was a king of wrestling, I had the cape, the crown, the flag, the board, the thumb, the tongue, the hoe, and the crossed eyes, right? And Bobby Heenan's like, Vince, we should get Duggan an eagle. We'll get Duggan an eagle. I'm like, Bobby, shut up. He'll give me an eagle for a rib, right? Well, we got these 4 signed. Thanks, Blake.
Thank you, Blake. I'll grab them here in a moment. And now, coming up next, we've got a nice 2x4 for you to
All right.
sign, which you'd like in.
Lumber. Where's Hogan now? It's all right. I get 2x4 in my hand, I get fired up, you know.
He would like this in either dark blue or black, whichever works for you,
The black.
and just signature.
Just signature?
Yep. Let me grab these out of the way here.
Very cool. Hacksaw Jim, I'll put the Hall of Fame on there for you too, though, brother.
Done. Take those-
HOF. You know, one time I was carrying a 2x4 and I got this big nasty splinter in my thumb, you know, a really bad splinter. And I went, oh!
That's how it all
No,
began.
That's a wrestling story, come on. Rough crowd here, folks.
There were just crickets at that point.
All right, we
I
got.
think we've done our research. We know that story.
Yeah,
Yes,
you know, you know.
Here we go. We got a photo C.
Photos.
If you could make this out to Lexi, Lexie,
L-E-X-I. Thanks, Lexi.
and add whatever you wish. Anything you'd like.
Thanks for being a fan, Lexi. Hacksaw Jim Duggan. You know, that was the golden age of wrestling back there. Hogan, Macho Man, Jake
yeah.
the Snake, Andre the Giant, Junkyard Dog. You can still name 10 guys without thinking about it, you know?
It was
Still
all-
a good show nowadays, but nothing like the golden age, that's for sure.
Not even close. And no offense to the newer guys.
No, the kids nowadays, I say, are much more professional, maybe even more athletic. But I think my generation of guys were much more creative, you know?
Oh yeah. You all have personality too, which the guys.
I don't have
today-
some punk kid getting Hacksaw Jim Duggan his verbiage for his interview, that's for sure.
Right? You didn't need it. Like,
How about this one, brother?
this one is going out to Thatcher, which is
Thatcher?
Yep, here you go. If you need to see it, it's THATCHER. And again, I can add anything you'd like.
Thatcher. Where's Thatcher from? You know?
I believe Thatcher is out in New York. I
New
believe.
Jersey.
New Jersey. New Jersey. That's
okay.
right.
Got the Hall of Fame on there too. What a good class, that 2011, the class in Atlanta, Road Warriors, Shawn Michaels. It was a good group.
Here we go. I'm going to hand that off. And actually, right to your left there, if you want to grab one of those posters.
You got the big posters.
I love that
I like
poster. I like
that,
how
yeah.
it turned out. Yes, if you can make this out to Bowtie. This is a friend of ours. He's a mechanic in the area. He's a great guy.
One word, right? Bow tie? And blue, I think, will look good. Bow tie.
You got it somewhere on
You're good. There's nothing on there beside that.
there. Oh, okay, cool.
All right. We got any questions for me, brother? You said you had a few.
We actually do have the one that I want to hear.
Uh-oh, I can't tell that one, brother. I'm sorry.
Well, it's incriminating evidence at that point.
I think the statute of limitations is up.
You're good. You're
We're
okay.
yeah.
I've heard something about the Berlin Wall and the Germany and
Oh, okay,
you know,
yes. This was. I heard a story that you once you did a show in Germany.
Yes.
And it was at I'm not exactly sure where it was, but it was somewhere where like Hitler had spoken or whatever. But you got to.
Yeah, I tell you, one of the was a outdoor arena that Hitler had made his speeches in it, and they had the hallway to get to the stage was all zigzagged to cut down on assassination attempts, so people couldn't just shoot down the hallway. It was zigzagged to protect Hitler. I mean, unbelievable the appeal of professional wrestling around the world. You know, I do a lot of charity events for the NFL guys. I always ask them, I'm like, world champions? Where in the world do you fellas go, right? And they're like, well, we went to London. I'm like, that's like going to the West Coast, go to London. Are you kidding? In my 40 years of wrestling, I wrestled in every state in the Union, every province in Canada, including the Northwest Territory, in 30 different countries. It's unbelievable the appeal of wrestling around the world. I joke, I said, nobody knows Tom Brady down in Christchurch, New Zealand, but they'll go, ho!
Here we go. We just got this order in.
This is good. Duggan DiBiase, 24. I think it should be Duggan DiBiase, said DiBiase. Duggan, but I'll talk to Ted later about that.
Yeah, well, you'll be seeing DiBiase tomorrow.
Tomorrow, we look
That's
forward
right,
to it.
Yeah.
Ted and I go back 40 plus years. One of the
Oh,
best
right.
technical wrestlers in the sport, Ted DiBiase. But he can't fight a lick. Old interview.
Yeah, you guys went way back to, what was it, the...
Mid-South.
Mid-South,
And any of the
right.
second generation wrestlers, you take a look like Ted DiBiase, Jake the Snake Roberts, Kurt Hennig, the Von Erichs, people that grew up in the business are just that much more polished. They understand the business that much better. You know, I started wrestling when I was 25 years old. So guys like Terry Gordy, people started at 15, were just that much better. And I learned an awful lot from Ted.
Mhm.
He taught me a lot.
He inducted you into the Hall of Fame.
He did
in
induct me into the Hall of
2014,
Fame. Yeah, he sure did. Yeah.
So-
Personalized, what are we doing?
right.
on this
No,
one?
just an autograph.
Just an
on that,
autograph.
I believe. Yep.
So I hope we can count on your vote. Couldn't do any worse, I'll tell you.
Lord knows the country needs help at this point.
Jeez.
So what was that like going all the way that far back with DiBiase when, you know, wrestling was a totally different world too.
Sure.
To, what was it, 30 some years later being inducted by him into
Yeah.
the biggest Hall of Fame in wrestling currently.
Well, plus, you know, I wrestled Ted all over the world
Mhm.
thousands of times. So Ted and I have quite a great relationship. For him to induct me into the hall was really something special.
That's cool. Now, this is also going to the same person. Can you grab another poster?
Yep. A poster!
Yep.
Poster!
People
A little
are
more
loving
enthusiasm
it.
there, young guy.
This one's the same, just an autograph.
Autograph?
Yep.
You say poster, we'll say poster.
These are nice posters. They came out really good. I like these. Thank you.
Well, yeah, we know a guy who's back there if you need him.
Can you make me look good, brother? I'll tell you.
He's
Huh?
desperate for work too. Here we go. All right. Thank you very much. All right, coming up next, we got a letter. We got a C, another C.
See,
Yep. This is actually going out to our friend Mario, and he's just like this to Dad. This is for his father.
for his dad?
Yeah.
Very cool. You know, doing autograph sessions, I get a lot where the folks come in and they bring their young ones and say, I used to watch them when I was your age, you know.
Right.
And that is very cool. Actually, it's very humbling. The last time I did an autograph session. I was standing in line, and I was sitting there in a long line of folks coming getting autographs. And I saw this big, rough, tough-looking guy in the back of the line, and he's eyeballing me pretty hard, you know. I'm checking on my security, and finally the guy gets up to the end of the line. He grabs me by the hand. Hacksaw Duggan! Me and my dad, we used to watch you together. I tell you, folks, it's humbling to have people remember you this many years later and have you affect their lives. It really is. It's great to have an opportunity to tell the folks, thanks for 40 years of wrestling. It's been a great business for me. So many folks hear the negative stuff about wrestling, about my good friend Jake Roberts or Scott Hall. For me, it's been the opposite. You know, I've been with my wife for almost 40 years. I never had to go to rehab for booze or drugs. I can't throw no stones. I did my share, but I never got hooked. I joke, no felony arrest, a few misdemeanors, but it was the 80s. What the devil, right? It's been a great business for me.
Can you grab another poster we got going?
Posters are going. All right, I like it.
Now, this one is actually for Tweak here at Doghouse Gaming. He'd like one in the red, white, and blue.
Cool.
Signature. Here you go.
Put me to work here, brother.
There we go.
Let me just remind the viewers at home who are watching right now that they can order very easily by go to signingliveinc.com or revolutionwrestlingfederation.com. We take all forms of payment, PayPal. Just get on there. We got you covered.
White's a little rough to see on this.
Is it
But a lot of folks do the red, white, and blue, you know.
They look great. They really do. They turn out good. And I mean, again, you're Hacksaw. You represent the red, white, and blue.
Well, it's been my honor to carry our flag all around the world. And,
There you go.
you know, so don't watch the NFL.
Boycott.
You
the
have
NFL.
a 2x4, correct? This is right here. We got another red, white, and blue coming in.
Oh, cool. Well, you guys know the story with the origins of the 2x4. Personalized or just autograph?
Yes, you get a to Chris
To Chris.
and Ho with the red, white,
I beg
and
your
blue.
pardon?
I'm sorry, man. I'm just reading the notes.
I'm just relaying the message.
Yeah.
Red, white, blue. All right, red. Hacksaw. That's Flair. You know, Rick, every time you see Rick, it's, woo! I'm like, Rick, how was your flight? Woo! What'd you have for breakfast? Woo! How's your day? Woo! I'm like, Rick, are your trunks too tight or what? It's more like a ho! One of the best ever, Flair. Flair and Hogan, different level.
Now, have you heard Flair's doing one more match? He's recently came out to say he's going to, I guess that's going to be the end match. Any thoughts on that one?
You know, good for Rick.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
He's a friend of mine, and good to see him do well. And I'm sure a lot of folks will be glad to see him out there.
Oh, yeah, I heard that.
And he's with Ricky Morton, too.
Oh, is
right?
it? Yeah, right.
I think it's a six-man tag. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's right. And I heard it sold out very quickly, so you're right. Like, everybody's very interested in seeing it.
I guess mostly EMTs signed up.
Ambulance chasers.
Thank you. All right, we got coming up next. This is Photo D.
Photo D.
Now,
Oh, here's
this
the
one,
pictures of all the
Yeah.
different photos.
that way you can see them too, and everyone at home.
Oh,
We got
I
Photo
recognize
D.
that guy, huh?
Good-looking guy right there.
Oh.
Oh,
What are we doing this one in?
Okay, so now this one's going to be a little weird. His name is, it's Two.
With this crew, I'm not surprised, folks. I'll tell
Hey,
you.
wait a minute.
Yeah, wait. It's To Johnny, which is Jawny.
Well, that is a little different, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely a Philly thing.
It's a Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Like you guys seen that before?
Well, you hear it a lot here. That's kind of when someone says John, it's it's
sweet.
whatever. It's a universal term
All right, Johnny,
for
cool.
anything.
Whatever you want.
Thank
Yeah.
you, brother.
And he was also like a if you grab one of the posters.
Poster!
Poster!
There we go, buddy. I know you can't pick it up.
And can we make this one out to Jim?
Jim?
That's now your job. That's me. Perfect.
Security!
You're gonna end up in jail at the end of the night.
Hey, I'm sorry. Oh, you're talking to him. Hey.
Hope
Oh,
you're
you're talking to me.
sorry.
Hey. There we go, folks.
If anyone watching also doesn't follow Hacksaw on social media, I highly recommend you do. You're very active on it, and you're constantly posting of your latest your latest endeavors, whatever you're up to, which is always very cool. And one of
You
the
guys
things
are all over the place.
everywhere.
No, we just came back from Alaska. What a great trip we had up in Alaska. It's been about 10 days up there. It was great. Of course, my daughters are like, Dad, your spelling and punctuation is so bad. I'm like, that way the people know it's me.
Right. Now, we've got yet another one that's going to be every one of the photos we have available.
Thank you.
So these are going to be a little, there's some differences here,
Sure.
but here we got this one. And for
Personalized we are just
yep, this is going to be to John.
John.
Yep. Then it's What's Up, Tough Guy.
What's up, tough guy?
So Hacksaw, we got a question here from one of our viewers.
Sure.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how good was WrestleCon is the question.
Coming from the WrestleCon person, sure, no doubt.
There.
Is it the,
No, I tell you folks, yeah, because WrestleCon was kind of like these type of autograph sessions where you get a chance to talk with the folks, interact with the folks. That's where I'm going for. And have, you know, if you're at a WWE event, they just push you right through. It's like autograph. WrestleCon, something like this, you get a chance to visit, talk to the folks, tell them thanks. So it's a lot of fun. Of course, you get to see the more current kids at the WWE event. Is this for personalized for anybody, brother?
This is to John.
John again?
Yep, and
J-O-H-N?
again, yep, and this one is also What's Up, Tough Guy.
These paint pins work good, huh?
Yeah, I really like that blue. They really pop on pretty much everything. Then,
So I was wearing the singlet.
oh yeah.
I was getting a little heavy there, brother.
There we go. Then we got these two are also going to John, but he just wants What's Up, Tough Guy on these.
not
There's that.
just.
Yeah,
to
just
John?
What's Up, Tough Guy. There's that. No to John. Then here, hold on. I'm just going to keep them all together for. If that, yeah, that's got to dry. So move that way. Then we got D coming in
I
here.
messed that up, brother.
Oh, okay. What was that? That was. Here we
Trying to
go.
do the right this first. There we go.
We got plenty. You're good to go.
You guys had Slaughter here last week, huh?
Actually, yes. Speaking of, we had him here about 2 weeks ago, and he told a story about you from back in the day when he was still doing the Cobra Clutch Challenge. That you would come up to him in the back, and you were very interested, and you wanted to do the Cobra Clutch Challenge.
That's right.
And he said that you didn't stand a chance, and you weren't able to do it. Now, what's your take
We're
on?
not sure if that was
Yeah,
real or
yeah.
not. We think that was a
No,
little
Sarge
wrestling
is
in that
Sarge. I'll
mix.
put Sarge over. You know, I was wrestling. This is probably like 1980. I just started in '79 down in Dallas, Texas. I broke in with Fritz Von Erich.
There you go, that's it.
And I was Big Jim Duggan, with short hair and clean shaven, red and black trunks, and I wore a long gold bathrobe to the ring.
Nice.
Looked horrible. Anyway, that was one of the first biggest things I ever do was try to get out of the Cobra Clutch. Of course, I fought and didn't get out. Sarge put me out. But anyway, so Vince McMahon Sr., the old man, and Arnie Skolin, they call me into the office. And they're like, kid, you might have a future in the business, but come up with something better than Big Jim and get rid of that gold bathrobe.
It's going to be on eBay tonight. 1,000 gold
Oh,
pounds.
That's one of my favorite keepsakes. Yeah.
Do you
And
still
then
have the
I
bathrobe?
oh yeah, I still got it. And
Hold on,
I went
just
from
make sure.
Big Jim Duggan. I wore a mask, and I wrestled as a convict. That didn't work either.
No.
And I put
Short-lived.
little C's on my mask for the convict, you know. And I marched down to the ring, and the fans are like, "Convict, why'd you put those ears on your mask?" I said, "They're not ears, they're C's for the convict."
On this one, can we just get a to Brian on there? That was my bad.
Like working for Vince, this guy. Yeah. B-R-I-A-N.
Yes.
It's funny, the ideas we come up with and how they translate to the fans are totally different every time.
And then on this one, can we just add to John right next to the two there?
Sorry, I was talking, not paying attention. J-O-H-N, right?
Yep.
Well, this one will lead you to
Good
more
catch,
talking.
brother.
Yeah,
Thank
no
you.
problem, no problem. It's what I'm here for.
We got a question from
Oh.
the peanut gallery.
This one will lead to some more talking here. What was your most memorable match in your career?
Oh, that's easy. You know, of course, the biggest feather in my career.
Yeah, that
What's
was
this for?
This is just What's Up, Tough Guy.
What's up, Tuck? I
Yep.
don't get this. Since I'm messing everything up, I'll write this down.
Again, if you're watching at home, you can order on signingliveinc.com or revolutionwrestlingfederation.com. And if you actually, on the notes there, you can just click the link and you'll go right to it.
Well, winning the first ever Royal Rumble, that's probably the biggest feather in my cap, because I joke, I was never world champion, I was never tag team champion, I was never intercontinental champion. I was lucky to win a match, I'll tell you. But that was my character. I don't care if I win the match, as long as I win the fight, tough guy. But anyway, winning the Royal Rumble was my biggest feather in my cap. But the thing I remember the most, I grew up in a small town upstate New York by Vermont, Glens Falls. And as a kid, my dad would bring me and my sisters down to New York City to Madison Square Garden to see the circus, So you can only imagine as an adult to have my dad in the car to drive up and pull up in front of Madison Square Garden and see Hacksaw Jim Duggan versus Andre the Giant. I mean, a double whammy to be main event at the Garden, but being there with Andre the Giant. Memory of a lifetime.
Completely sold out nonetheless, too.
Oh, yeah. 22,000 people, and no matter what profession you're in, you sell out the Garden, Andre sold the Garden out. I was there with him.
Oh, come on now. You just along for the ride?
Yeah.
Just an autograph.
I tell folks I could have killed Andre the Giant. He might have choked on my bones. Just autograph?
Just autograph, yeah. So what was it like? I know you'd have to wrestle Andre on multiple nights in a row.
Yes.
It's got to be
I
scary
wrestled
in
him.
general. They
Yeah.
say that if Andre wanted to win,
Yeah.
Andre was going to win.
Right.
Yeah, well, actually, as a kid, as a convict, actually, when I left New York, Arnie and Vince sent me to Hawaii to learn how to wrestle, right? They're going to send me somewhere. I'm like, where are they going to send me? Hawaii! So I went to Hawaii and I worked for High Chief Peter Maivia. Just like to say, I worked with The Rock's grandfather, High Chief Peter Maivia. I worked with The Rock's father, Rocky Johnson. And I may get The Rock at WrestleMania! Ho! No chance in hell.
Just an autograph on this one.
But over there, all the top guys would come back from Japan and they'd stop and work in Hawaii for High Chief. And so as a young kid, I worked with Andre as a convict and I built a rapport with him. So later on in life, when I had the opportunity, I was, Hogan slammed him. But the only guy ever to knock out Andre the Giant was Hacksaw Jim Duggan when I hit him with my 2x4.
It's actually playing if you go to the TV in front of the store, we have that playing right now.
And of course, if Andre didn't want to do that, he wouldn't do it. So that was a huge favor the man did for me. And that elevated me from a mid-card guy to a main event guy.
Got to that next level.
Then can we grab yet another poster?
Poster!
Poster!
All right, kids.
Got it.
Then can we make this out to John?
J-O-H-N?
Yes, and can we do this one in red, white, and blue? Sorry, that's
That
my
did,
bad.
John. There we go. Red, white, and blue, baby. Blue.
So is that an open challenge to The Rock? I mean, was that?
I mean, I
Did
think
we just
so.
see an exclusive?
Oh, sure. Of
Well-
course, I might pull my hamstring getting off this chair quick, but
So, speaking of The Rock, then when are we going to see you on Young Rock? He's been doing a whole
well, you
bunch of
see
that,
me on
and-
Young Sheldon.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah,
We
and
missed that
everyone,
one.
when it was Psych we're on, it's amazing that generation, people just have us in all kinds of stuff.
I know, the one I liked was Harry and the Hendersons.
Yes,
Yeah,
Harry
yeah.
and the Hendersons.
You
How
know,
did
you
that
know what had the
come
most fun though was Super Sloppy Double Dare.
We have it.
Oh,
We watched
yeah,
it.
right,
He got-
right.
he got nicely slimed.
about? Oh, right.
And you still didn't know that guy was. What was he making lobsters go to sleep? I think is what this job was.
This one, can we make that a to Dante?
D-A.
D-A-N-T-E.
Gotcha.
So yeah, how did the Nickelodeon stuff and how did that even come about? Did they just reach out to you? And
Yeah,
we want Hacksaw.
Yeah, they got a hold of me, through the office.
Oh, that's awesome.
Years ago they called me and they said, Hacksaw, you want to do a charity event at WW? I said I do a lot of charity. I've been doing the variety telethon for over 20 years, the second largest telethon in the country. But they're like, well, Hacksaw, it's a fishing tournament. And I'm like, well, geez, I'm not really that big of a fisherman. They're like, well, it's the World Sailfish Championship in Key West for a week. So my wife's got me by the throat. I'm like, okay, we might make that one.
So Hawaii, Florida.
So
Everything's
down there
coming
in
up
Key
roses.
West, come to find out, I did that for 10 years. The honorary chairman of the World Sailfish Championship, General Norman Schwarzkopf,
Oh, wow.
Don Shula, Johnny Bench, and Hacksaw Duggan. What's wrong with this picture? No, I was honored being there with those men.
Can we make this one out to Draven too? And that's
T-R-A-V-E-N?
Yep.
Thanks, Draven. Thank you, buddy. You guys haven't had Jake here yet, have you?
No, not yet, not
I
yet.
thought it smelled good.
He is.
Jake's one of my
Emotion,
best
though.
friends. Yeah.
That's actually, I wanted to ask you about that, because on your Instagram, which is it's at Hacksaw Duggan, I believe, just so anyone at home, if you want to check it out. I believe it's Hacksaw Duggan. If I'm mistaken, I
I
apologize.
will look at it.
I'm not sure. Type.
But there's actually a photo of Jake the Snake at your wedding, but in a conga line. That to me is probably one of the most mind-blowing photos I've ever
With
seen in my life.
Cheryl was in it. Right. But I tell you what, you know who you ain't gonna believe. You're not gonna believe who sang at our wedding. This, you know
If
who
you say
sang?
Mike Tyson, we're gonna freak out.
No,
That mine?
Lillian Garcia.
Yeah, Lillian Garcia.
Oh, that's all.
Long before she had anything to do with wrestling, she was in South Carolina. She was with a band called Good and Plenty.
Okay.
And so years later, she came up to me when I was at WWE, because WWF was actually my heyday, obviously, where I was with Dusty, DiBiase, and Orton. But I also wrestled in WWE, where I wrestled Dusty's kid, DiBiase's kid, and Orton's kid. So first I beat up the old man, then I beat up the kid.
Where were you on that one? To Lizzie, Lizzy.
That's so this one. Thanks, Lizzie.
If you look right now online, you can see all of Hacksaw's social media. You can follow them all on that good
What
stuff.
do you mean by old Hacksaw? Not that I noticed that, brother. So Flair and Hogan still call me kid, though. And Jake says he's younger, but I want to see a birth certificate.
What was it like? I know you drove with Jake the Snake for quite some time. I can only imagine that in itself being an interesting time, but what's it driving around with a 10-foot, 100-pound snake
Well,
in the car?
that's the deal. If you travel with Jake, you have to travel with Damien, the 10-foot, 100-pound snake, And of course, Jake and I, we were very good friends. I got very used to the snake traveling all the time.
We got two Jonathan, Jonathan.
Jonathan, cool. So I got pretty used to the snake, we traveled I'd walk into an arena, and I said, can somebody find me a 2x4 and get him a 10-foot python? He had to drag that snake around wherever he went, But anyway, we were, this one town, we were down like Mississippi or somewhere, we're late for a show, and we had a big rented Lincoln, and I'm driving, I'm flying, and of course, Jake and I, imagine us being late for a show, right? But we had a great theory back then. If you're going to be late, be so late that they're happy to see you. Thank God you made it instead of where the hell you been. Thank God you guys made the show, right? So we're flying down the road, I'm driving, boom, the snake's in the back seat in the bag, and it's trying to get out of the bag. Boom, it gets out of the bag. I look up in the mirror, boom. The big, huge snake head over my shoulder. Kind of felt like Harry Potter. And people are like, well, it's a python, they're not poisonous. Yeah. I'm like, no, but it's got a mouth like this, it'll definitely bite your butt, right? So we slam on the brakes. There's like a Cracker Barrel restaurant where all the folks are out in the rocking chairs rocking, and we come we come sliding in. Jake and I jump out of the car, we pull open the back door, we grab the snake, we're fighting with the snake, we throw it back in the bag, and we drive off. So to this day, people are going, you ain't going to believe it? These guys had a giant snake in the back of their car.
Now, this one could make 2 Genesis, which is Genesis.
Now, of course, if you're watching at home again, we just have to remind you we're at the 30-minute mark here. We've got 30 minutes left, and if you'd like to order something, go on signingliveinc.com or revolutionwrestlingfederation.com, and you can just click on the good stuff, and we take PayPal and all major forms of credit card.
Thank you, Genesis. Okay, and let's go grab. About that story, I actually have a question, because I saw an interview with Jake the Snake telling a similar story, but he said you guys ended up getting pulled over down the road, and they asked about 2 guys fighting a 30-foot snake. You guys are pulled in a parking lot. Is that the same story or a different?
I think there might have been a different
Oh,
time.
geez.
So the snake got loose more than once.
This is a common practice with carrying a snake.
Sometimes we let the snake out just for fun. If you check it in the hotel lobby, be kind of packed. There's a snake!
I
Right
demand
front
a
of the
free
line.
This is to Arlene. A-R?
Let's see, I think we'll go silver for Arlene. Go ahead, give it to me, please.
A-R-L-E-N-E.
Arlene. Thank you, Arlene. One time, Jake and I, we were main event at Rosemont Horizon, Allstate, I think they call it now in Chicago. And we get to the door, we were last match, we took our time showering, we got to the door, there's this whole bank of doors to go outside. And we open the door, there's still maybe 200 people out there, all excited. You can see the limo on the far side of the people, right? So we pull the doors back closed, and Jake's like, what are we gonna do, hacker? I'm like, I don't know, brother. 1, 2, 3, we'll open the door, we'll fight it through the people, I'll meet you at the limo. Jake's like, I'm with you, brother. Okay, buddy.
You go first.
1, 2, 3, we open the door, Jake goes out, I pulled the door closed behind him. I gave him about a 3 count, I walked out, nobody saw me, they're all pulling on Jake's hair and everything. I went around, I'm sitting in the limo waiting for Jake, you know. Nice ribs, not the mean rib.
Okay, grab yet another poster.
Poster!
Poster!
There we go. Yeah, we just autograph, and this could be a red, white, and blue photo,
Gotcha.
or autograph.
But I will tell you a story about Slaughter. I'm surprised he didn't tell you this story back when I was big Jim Duggan driving him and Stan Hansen around. And he was beating me in all kinds of stuff. And finally we're driving on like bowling alley. Let's go into bowling alley, Slaughter. So me and Slaughter, we go into bowling alley. On the first 2 games, I am beating his butt big time. Finally he says, okay, we'll put some money on the game. I'm like, all right, Sarge, let's go, brother. Sarge gets up and goes, oh, I am right-handed, that's right. I was a young kid, you took advantage of me, Slaughter. I'm surprised he didn't tell that story.
Yeah, no, he only told us about the Cobra Clutch one. Oh, jeez, I'm throwing stuff over here, don't mind me. Here's the... Thank you. Okay, now hand that off to you. And we got a photo A.
Photo A.
And I'm just checking to make sure, add on, which is photo. Okay, here we go. Can we get to Derek? To Derek, D-E-R-E-K.
D-E-R-E-K. Gotcha,
Yep.
brother.
And then to Derek, tough guy. And he was actually going to be in black. He requested a black A. Here you go. Oh,
Got it.
that one. All right.
We do have a question. Somebody wants to know online about the Rat Pack special. What is that photo from?
That would be this one here.
That's Mid-South. Probably Sam Houston Coliseum. I'd almost guarantee that's probably where that match is at. But yeah, me and DiBiase and Matt Bourne were the Rat Pack down in Mid-South. And what a great company that Mid-South was. I bet for a while, like 80% of the WWE Hall of Fame guys came through Mid-South because you'd wrestle probably 8 times a week. You'd do double shots on the weekends, and you'd do an individual interview for every city. So you wouldn't do just one generic interview. So not only did you learn out your stuff in the ring, you learned how to talk on the mic. So it was a great proving ground. And we would do Superdome shows down there. We'd have 40, 50,000 people at the Dome. It was strong with a JYD, Junkyard Dog, one-man gang.
This is also to Derek. He asked if you could have sign it in silver, and if you could put to Derek. It's D-E-R-E-K.
Gotcha.
And Ho.
What's that got to be like playing in front of 20,000 people?
It's great. You know, of course, I joke, you know, I did WrestleMania 3, and I ran in on the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov, and they were beating up the Killer Bees, and I had my 2x4, I hit the Sheik, I hit Nikolai, I'm standing in the middle of the ring, got 93,000 people chanting, USA! USA! I tell you, my hair was standing up like this. I was so excited, you know. I come back to the dressing room, everybody comes running up, they're like, Duggan, how's the crowd out there? I'm like, well, without my glasses, the first 3 rows are full. I don't know.
And look, Derek was just like this in autograph in red, white, and blue.
Thanks, Derek. Just to Derek also?
He doesn't have that on there. Is Derek currently watching? If he is, on his order he didn't put to Derek. So
Derek, we're going to leave it up to Hacksaw to decide what he wants to
Well, I'll put it
How's
on there
that?
for you, Derek, because he did the other ones, right?
yeah, right.
And we do have a question for you here, Hacksaw.
Sure, brother.
Have you ever played yourself in a video game, and if so, which one?
You know, I don't think I really have played myself. I'm not in too many video games. the old big console ones. You know.
WrestleMania Challenge for a regular.
Yeah, but I was playing Miss Pac-Man back then. Let me get the Hall of Fame on there.
There's a question. So your era of guys, like you said, the golden age of wrestling. You guys are all legitimate tough guys. You know what I mean? In a good way. In a good way. No
Well,
offense.
it was different
Like-
business back then. I mean, it wasn't sports entertainment. If you thought it was, you wanted to try one of the wrestlers, you signed a waiver, you come up in the ring and you try one of the wrestlers. So you had to fight every local tough guy, you know. It was a whole different business back then. Just getting back from forth and from the ring was dangerous. You know, the people spit at you and punch you and kick you. Bad guys would all walk out to their cars together at the end of the show because people would be out back waiting for you. It was a different business back then.
But you earned your stripes for sure.
Oh yeah, and that's why you didn't have a whole lot of fights backstage, you know, because nobody's going to beat somebody up backstage. That guy's going to get his too. It's mutual assured destruction. There's no walks in the park in the wrestling dressing room. That's why if you lost a fight in Mid-South, you get fired and you have a bar fight. So you'd be in a bar, you know, back then everybody's partying, drinking whiskey, you'd be like, not bad, brother. Come here.
Would
You
you guys
know,
do it together,
every
those
night,
fights?
yeah. Every night you'd be throwing punches, blocking punches, and you get hit. So I wouldn't try to do a plumber's job. Plumbers shouldn't try to do my job back in the day. Of course, that's the deal. You're always a phony wrestler until you go to court. You go to court, you're a tree, he's a killer, Your Honor, he's a killer. So the wrestling joke goes like this. 10, 20, 30,000. Every time you hit him, the lawsuit goes up. They're like, I'm going to sue you. I said, I'm getting my money's worth. We're not done. Nowadays, you go out with security.
All right, here we go. We got photo D. This is a 3-color autograph. The red, white, and blue just
Good.
autograph.
Nice.
This is for Dan. He doesn't want 2 Dan or anything, but just.
I don't know if the red comes out on the flag. I don't know.
Oh, right, let's see.
Well, let's see how it goes.
Now, if you guys knew it was
Red,
going
white,
down,
blue
would
is hard
the
to
wrestlers
picture.
get each
Alright.
other's backs?
Sorry, real quick. We just for the order from Dan Reinman, the photo that he chose, the red, white, and blue.
Red,
wasn't
white,
really
blue doesn't
showing.
come out too good on that day.
So is he another photo selection, perhaps?
Why don't we
or-
let's give him a second one just for free.
All right, here we go.
And
Oh, yeah.
This one
dealer's
I think will
choice.
probably do
Yeah,
pretty well.
way to go, brother. These folks were taking care of you
Oh, we
guys.
take care of our people.
That doesn't happen very often in the wrestling business.
We figure if we take care of them, they take care of us, and
That's
everybody
true.
does good. And you get taken care of, we all take care of. So my question, if you guys knew it was going down, would you guys get each other's backs? Even though you guys were adversarial in the ring, would you get into a fight altogether outside?
Yeah.
Was it wrestlers versus plumbers at one point? Or wrestlers versus zombies?
Yeah.
Right.
Wrestling versus zombies.
We got
Yeah,
to
well,
switch
some
this
guys
out.
would have your back, you know. I mean, Dr. Death, Steve Williams, Terry Gordy, you know, they'd belly right up to you. Some guys, you don't want to drive your getaway car, that's for sure. You'd be backing out of the 7-Eleven going, Jake? Yeah. Let's see, red, white, and blue.
Yep.
But back in the old days, you know, you'd have a fight, nobody would sue you, nobody would get arrested, you get thrown out of the bar or hotel.
It's a different world for
different
sure.
world, yeah. Of course, I'll tell you a funny story. Me and Big Terry Gordy went out one time in Shreveport, and the grappler, Lynn Denton, wouldn't come out with us. So we came back late morning, we were a little inebriated, you know, we were pounding on his door, open up, Lynn, open up. He wouldn't open up the door. So I get back, I kick the door, poof, the door doesn't open. Big Gordy, he grabs him, we both hit the door, poof, don't open. Hotel door. Alamo Plaza, Shreveport, Louisiana. Me and Gordy would come crashing. Finally, we hit the door. The whole door goes crashing down. The jam and everything goes. It was the wrong room. There's a guy sitting there on the phone. They're in here. They're in here now. You know. And of course, the police came and we got thrown out of the hotel. We paid for the damages, but nobody got arrested.
Here we go.
And the grappler was next door. Watched the whole deal.
This is for, I think it's for a pre-existing autograph. I think he's asking for an inscription now on it too.
This was for Dan, actually, the one we had just did. Oh, now this is a second photo. It's a different photo than
Maybe
what
he's
was
asking
on
for an
there.
inscription on that too.
Okay, maybe. All right,
Red, white,
so
blue, or-
Here's what we're gonna
yes.
do. We're gonna do it.
yeah, we're just going to
Crazy Eddie, we're giving it all away here, guys.
We'll do that one in red, white, and blue, and then we'll get back to Dan's here, and
But maybe write
that
something
work.
derogatory on it just for the hell of it.
that works.
Oh, the white looks good on the
Ooh,
action
yeah.
figure.
That really pops.
You notice they got the abs right too.
Hey, no, I agree, man. I agree.
Some say 6-pack, some say tag. You can go either way.
So I have a question about this figure. Like, for that match in the SummerSlam with Demolition, now was that your idea to paint your face?
Yeah, I think it was because they were always painted
Yeah,
up.
right.
You know, I would have painted my face more often if they made action figure every time I painted my face.
And did you paint your face for that? Because it looks
I think
phenomenal.
Barry and
Yeah.
Bill both helped me. Yeah, you kidding?
Okay.
I'm not very artistic.
All right, here we go. This is for Dan again, and we're going to have this one. He would just like the description, ho, and we'll try the red, white, and blue on this one.
To Dan or?
Yeah, this is no, I don't have to put Dan. It doesn't say that on here, so we'll just put ho and Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
And just so you know, again, if you're watching online, you can go to signingliveinc.com or revolutionwrestlingfederation.com to order. We've got a ton of great combination packages. We've got, you name it. We've got the 2x4. We got all sorts of good. My personal favorite, the 2024 special, of course. So for presidency, it's what the world needs right now, ladies and gentlemen. So feel free to get on there and order your stuff. We are rounding now 20 minutes, man. This is flying by as usual, man. This is crazy. Craziness.
Speaking of the DiBiase Duggan, we have yet another one. Just a autograph on that
right.
one.
DiBiase Duggan 2024. That would be, I tell you.
What would happen if you actually got elected? What would be the
Gas
first,
prices would come down.
That's the first order of business. What's
I
the
think
platform?
that would take care of a whole lot of things, right?
You'd be president.
I'm not in
like-
politics, so that's for sure.
Color-wise, it could be whatever. It doesn't have to be red, white, and blue. Whatever you want to do.
I think the.
Do you have a question?
Yeah, and I tell you, the national anthem and standing for the flag, it's something that needs to be done. I understand people want to protest, a lot of ways to protest without disrespecting a lot of men and women that paid the ultimate price. But anyway,
I think we have a question.
We do have a question. Okay.
Yes, so the question is about your match with Haku. How dangerous is Haku?
well,
in real
Haku,
life?
Haku, well, you know, like I said, professional wrestling is a whole group of tough men, but Haku is a tough man among tough men. And I met Haku back in 1979 when we were working for High Chief Peter Maivia in Hawaii. So Haku I've known longer than anybody else in this business. He's one of my best friends, but definitely one of the last guys who want to met. And the guy is a jerk magnet. He is. He'd walk into a bar and people would come, hey, 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 you know. Wrong guy to mess with. But it couldn't ask for a nicer man. What a gentleman. As most real tough guys are, nice gentleman.
That's just an autograph.
Just an autograph?
Yep. What was it like, especially with that, that era of guys when you go from, like you were saying, with crowds that would spit on you, hit you, and all that, to when Vince McMahon kind of started changing it to having kids around, like, to having video games, action figures. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys think he was nuts, or the whole idea was nuts?
Well, when the first WrestleMania came around, I was down in Mid-South, Bill Watts. WrestleMania 1 came, Vince went around all the territories, he grabbed Junkyard Dog. WrestleMania 2 came around, I grabbed Jake. Jake called me, he says, Duggan, you need to be up here for WrestleMania 3. I came up for WrestleMania 3. Ted's still down in Mid-South. He goes, I can't go to New York. It's Jake, the Snake Roberts, Hacksaw, Duggan, Junkyard Dog, Ted DiBiase. Ted ends up coming up getting the best gimmick of anybody, the $1 Million Man. I tell you, he had the last laugh, Ted did.
That is, right here. That is just an autograph.
Uh-huh.
This is just a reminder to anybody out there, if you want to order, you can go to revolutionwrestlingfederation.com, signingliveinc.com. Make sure you go to either of those links. You can go ahead and order right there.
Well,
I
I'll tell
did
you
get
quick.
another question, but it was not for the air.
Sorry, I can answer you.
We have children watching, and there's one.
No.
There's one right there.
That kid's older than any of us.
He's a midget. He's actually 35.
I'm 35?
Now you are.
All right, let's see here.
Well, I'll tell you a quick story about Andre. Andre, especially guys with long hair, he'd like to punch you and knock you down. When you look at the mat, your hair would go down on the mat. So Andre would step on either side of your head and step on your hair, and then he'd grab your arms and pick you up.
Jeez.
So it's a real unique way to have your hair pulled. It'd be like, ah! So Jake used to come back, his hair be sticking up. He'd go, I hate when he does that. I hate when he does it.
This right here is just an autograph, another DiBiase Duggan.
We are rounding the table. 15 minutes left, ladies and gentlemen. 15 minutes left to get your orders in.
Well, thanks for all you folks that made the orders. Thank you very much.
There's one that just came through. Do you still have your crown?
No, I don't have the crown. No, I don't. No. And I don't have the TV title neither. You know, I was the last WCW TV champion and the only undefeated WCW TV champion. Because I was the last one.
You walked with it. They never asked for the belt back.
No. Well, they looked for it later, but not right after. They didn't.
Besides the gold robe, what is your number one keepsake from your career?
Well, I think I was just telling Ralph about it, right? Back in the day, you know, we used to play cards an awful lot, you know, where Vince got to the point with WWF, you guys can't play cards no more. No more card playing. Of course, there's actually a very good reason for it. You'd be back there playing cards, you'd be like, dun, da, dun, da, dun, da, dun. Is that my music? That's my music, Jesus! So they had no more card playing back there. But Sergeant Slaughter used to make these huge, elaborate card brackets for the games, and if you lost, you'd go in the losers bracket and come back. And because we'd be at a pay-per-view, you'd be there all day. And I actually won one of the tournaments where, I mean, everybody's name you could think of handwritten. Andre the Giant, Pat Patterson, Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man. Everybody was there. Everybody played in the tournament. And guess who won? Oh! One of the few games I won. But that's one of my favorite keepsakes. Is I mean, Mr. Perfect. So many guys that are gone and wrote their name down on that.
That's like a museum piece. That's literally a piece of history.
It's almost antique, that's for sure.
That's just autograph?
That's a definite museum piece for sure.
Now, I have a totally random question. This is me personally.
Uh-oh.
This is, well, I watched, I saw an interview with Bruce Pritchard.
Are you my father? And when did you leave me?
It was Bruce Pritchard. He was talking about Bill Watts. And he started talking about, hold on, as I ask the question, I'll get things together here. This just, I believe it's just an autograph. Let me double check. But as he was talking about Bill Watts, yep, just an autograph, whatever color. He mentioned down it was in Mid-South that he did, he sold Amway. And that was one of the things he'd talk to like the guys about and be like, you know, let me talk to you, you know, in the future about your future and whatnot. And he kind of talked to the guys in the back, but it was an Amway pitch.
You got recruited for Amway.
Now,
They never recruited me. I got along good with Bill.
Okay.
Bill didn't get along with a lot of guys. Bill was kind of a bully, you know, but he liked jocks. He liked Steve Williams, Junkyard Dog, myself. He liked guys that had an athletic background. So I had a good rapport with Bill, but he treated a lot of people really, really rough.
good. That was part of my question. Make sure he never got you in the Amway.
No,
deals.
but yeah. Bill was a different kind of guy, but changed his life, as a lot of guys have, I guess.
We do this one in autograph in black. Grab that.
We got a question here?
Yeah. It's actually from the same guy for the crown.
No.
Okay, yeah.
You have the cape at least.
No, don't have the cape either, man. That was back when eBay first came out, brother. Are you kidding? I'm a wrestler. Yeah, you know, and a lot of guys that go in the house, it's almost like a shrine. They got all this wrestling memorabilia. I don't have too much memorabilia. Actually, when they put me in the Hall of Fame, they're like, Hacksaw, can you send us some robes? I'm like, no. Can you send us some feathered boas? I'm like, no. So my wife took about half a dozen 2x4s to the post office and sent up to it, you know. But guys like Macho, now you look back at it, they wore a different outfit for every pay-per-view. Is way ahead of his time now. So all this stuff is so collectible.
Sure. It's almost like he knew, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, now the kids are, yeah. Who would have thought? Of course, nobody thought wrestling would, you know, people say Royal Rumble, you never thought it would get as big as it is. I don't think anybody ever thought wrestling would be as big as it is. I mean, you know, Wembley Stadium, Royal Albert Hall.
Yeah, world
How about that
audience.
Wembley Stadium? Wembley Stadium show was me and the Bushwhackers against the Mountie and the Nasty Boys.
Jeez.
We started off the show, 86,000 people at the Wembley Stadium. Bushwhacker Luke would go to one corner, yo! Luke would go to the other corner, yay! And I'd go to the third corner, ho! We did 10 minutes, yo, yay, ho! You know, we had the place rocking. Everybody else is going out there chopping meat, you know. Now, let's show you how to do it, fellas. Oh! Great fans over in the UK.
Can you grab another poster?
Poster!
Poster! sir.
And this one, red, white, and blue. Just autograph.
So do we touch on favorite country or no?
I like the English-speaking countries. I really do. Australia, New Zealand, all through the UK. A lot of folks like Japan. I
I think
wasn't
you're
a big.
worshipped as, no, I think you're worshipped as a Pondo was saying. You have, our friend Man Pondo, who's a deathmatch wrestler, says you're pretty much a god over there.
Where?
Japan, he says. Now, he might be lying to us.
Well, I went to Japan a few times, man. Quite a few times, I guess. But my first trip over there was for 5 weeks. And you know, that was a long time.
A lot of
In all the
Japan.
big
That's a
cities,
whole lot.
you're in the small cities too, and a lot of traveling on buses and cars. It was hard. But one of my last trips to Japan, I brought my wife Deborah with me. She was my manager. I said, they said, Duggan, baby Duggan-san, you come to Japan. I said, well, I have to bring my manager. They said, no manager. I said, yes, I got a long blonde-haired woman. So I brought my wife, but actually we used her in the finish. We were at the, I can't think of the arena. But anyway, in the big arena, me and Boss Man, and we're in the finals. We have a big double knockout. He hits the referee. Referee's down, I'm down, Boss Man's down. Boss Man goes over and gets my 2x4. He comes to hit me with a 2x4. Deborah rolls in behind him, grabs the 2x4. He turns around. She's like, ah! She jumps out of the ring. Boss Man turns back around. 3-point stance. Boom. 1, 2, 3.
Nice.
Boss Man. That was one of his last matches too. God bless him.
Just an autograph?
I hate to be the party pooper, but we are rounding 8 minutes left to get your orders in. When we end this, we're going to be going to the live signing from 3 to 5 over in Doghouse Gaming in Quakertown, Pennsylvania. But get your orders in. If you got some orders in and we're off camera, we'll still get them in. We'll just get them in through there, and that's what we'll do for you.
We have a request for your side of the story
Love.
on the escaped snake around the gas pedal.
Uh-oh.
Well, Jake says the snake was around the gas, but I think Jake just had a really heavy foot. He's trying to tell the cow, oh, there's a snake.
We do another red, white, and blue on that?
Thank you. No, not to anybody?
Nope. Just red, white, and blue autograph.
Yeah, I was with Jake one time. We were in New Jersey. We stopped at like a Roy Rogers fast food on the Garden State Parkway, you know. And just as we were getting our food, a whole bunch of busload of kids come charging. And of course, back then we were on TV all the time, right? And so Jake gets his food, and the people are kind of looking. And he gets to the door. He goes, "That's right, folks. Hacksaw Jim Duggan's right over there."
He was getting you back and going out
Getting me
the back door that one time.
Yes.
Revenge is sweet.
And I'll tell you one last story about Andre the Giant. We don't have much time, right, brother?
We have 6 minutes left, but we'll keep going as long as you want to keep going.
Yeah,
We've got
yeah.
people to go to.
Andre, you know, of course, I got the opportunity to knock the man out, and it elevated me, and so I got to wrestle Andre. I wrestled 54 nights straight, everywhere, all over the country. But Andre, you know, he's so big. It was a very tough life for the guy, you know. He couldn't sit. I had trouble sitting on a toilet. I had trouble in an airplane, in a car, or anything. And, you know, he was just such a big guy. And being that big, he wasn't the most hygienic guy in the world, let's say. You know, he had a unique aroma, and he never washed his gear. But anyway, we'd have this match. We wrestle. I wrestle him all every night. We do this standard spot every night. He'd be like, "Duggan, step closer." And I take a couple baby steps, you know. "Closer, Duggan!" And he'd grab me by the hair and he'd pull me in. He had that singlet, you know, with the one strap, and he'd take the singlet off and he'd wrap it around my throat and he'd choke me with it, you know. He'd choke me. Every night, that's a standard spot, you know. So there's one night he's a little more inebriated than usual. He's like, "Duggan, step closer." We know. I don't want to. "Closer, Duggan!" And he grabbed me by the hair and he pulls me. Now he takes his strap off and he goes to wrap it around my throat. But instead of going around my throat, he misses. It goes like this. So now he starts choking me, and he's squeezing all the giant juice out of his gear.
Giant flavored juice.
And I'm 300 pounds back then, and I'm fighting as hard as I can fight. And I'm just going,
This one, Justin.
I gotta ask, what did it taste like? I mean,
giant juice.
Isn't that the follow-up? Is it a hint of strawberry?
You
and
saw
lime?
Princess Bride, right? Brute Squad. Andre, an honor to be in the ring with the man.
Again, if you're watching at home, you go to signingliveinc.com or revolutionwrestlingfederation.com. Get your orders in now, guys, because we are rounding the corner. We got 4 minutes left.
So amongst many people wishing you well,
Tons of that.
Tons of this.
As soon as we announced this, the emails were flooding in. So.
Thank you, folks, and I tell you, I was diagnosed in October with prostate cancer. I had no symptoms at all. My wife just insisted that I go get my yearly physical. My PSA level was high. That led one thing to another: bone scan, CAT scan, PET scan. Boom! I had prostate cancer. They removed my prostate. There's still some cancer in there. I'm starting my radiation this coming Tuesday for 8 weeks, 5 days a week. But this is my second bout with cancer, folks. So remember, one thing I can get to you all: early detection saves lives. I had kidney cancer years ago. They saved my life. It looks like this time with the radiation and removal, they saved my life again. So remember, folks, early detection saves lives very much. And thank you for all the good thoughts and wishes.
Thank you, Hacksaw. Yeah, thank you.
Sure. We're going to keep doing our prayers for sure.
Thank you, brother. Thank
and, we know this is business, but please try to keep us in the loop, too.
Poster!
Poster!
So anything else before we wrap it up? I know we've got a couple more that you can keep doing, and we can bring them to the front. We've got a couple more minutes, but is there anything that you'd like to say other than that, man? I mean, like...
Well, that was my main... But I'll give you something fun to end on, guys.
Yeah,
Since we're talking Andre jokes, and, Jake tells a story. He's got a part of it. Ted tells a story. He's got a different version. This is my story of traveling with Andre the Giant, Tokyo, Japan, after flying 20-plus hours to get to Tokyo. We're at the Kyo Plaza, this big, fancy Dan hotel in downtown Tokyo. And we're all checking in. Everybody's tired. You got to go up to the 60th floor to check in the elevator to go up higher, right? So we get on the elevator. Andre gets on, I get on, Jake gets on, Teddy gets on. All of a sudden, personal space doesn't exist in Japan. About 10 Japanese guys all come charging in. So now we're all packed in the elevator. Elevator starts going up to the 60th floor. As soon as it starts off, Andre starts laughing. His giant laugh, ho, 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 ho. Me, Jake, and Teddy are like, Andre, why are you laughing? Andre goes, "'Cause I'm farting." About that time, you see the green gas coming up from the floor, Me, Teddy, and Jake are on our toes trying to stay north of it, Those poor Japanese guys are down low. They're really suffering.
Right in the mix.
We're 458, 459. Andre's still laughing as hard as he ever laughed. And Jake's like, "Andre, why are you still laughing?" Andre goes, "'Cause I'm still farting."
Oh, horrible. Horrible.
Yeah.
What was worse, the juice or the fart?
The juice. Yes.
Yeah, it's got to be rough.
I don't know, when you think about what a fart is, it's now in your lungs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
You could kind of chew the fart, too.
Oh, God.
There was fart. I know the Japanese people, they probably said nothing about it. They were very honorable. They just all took
Yeah,
it.
very respectful.
Yeah.
And just,
They are.
They prayed for the masks at that point.
Yeah, it's different, especially back in the day. The Japanese folks are very quiet. They clap politely in the ring, so it's hard to be out there.
Crazy. All right, well, we're going to wrap things up here, guys. I want to thank Mr. Duggan for coming out to us.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Poster!
And we're going to wrap this up now. Again, we are going to be, tomorrow, we do have another signing event. And, of course, Mr. Hacksaw Duggan will be there as well. But we also have his, I don't know, what would you want to call it? His friend? Buddha? I mean,
Taking a lot for granted calling DiBiase my friend.